Dietrich was in a very bad mood. He sat inside the tent, his lips tightly pursed, blue veins prominent on his face from intense emotion. He repeatedly clenched and unclenched his palms, clenching his teeth until they almost crumbled. How absurd this is, unbelievable. It was never in his mind to be locked up in a tent like this. He came with the priests, and he came with a large army. It was true that he could not personally lead them to the front and risk his life like Fenrik, but he also had no intention of becoming a burden to the rear. Up until this point, Fenrik had been doing everything he could to save Presepe. If he succeeds, her heart will only be his. He had always been the man who went through all dangers to save her, time after time. Thus it seemed as if Dietrich had done nothing but drag the army with him to give their relationship additional strength. He would have preferred that Fenrik had died trying to save her, but the latter was not a man to be taken down so easily. Therefore, he planned to carefully retreat into the battle, and then when Fenrik succeeded in killing the Demon King, he would seize the opportunity to rescue Presepe himself. His closed fist trembled violently. That's how it's always been. The Emperor's position, his weight, unlike Fenrik, Dietrich did not have enough strength to throw everything he had and rush to Presepe. However, he also did not have the maturity to accept his situation and leave her. This will be the last chance. He was certain that if the rescue was successful this time, Fenrik would not hesitate to take Presepe and leave Odiloya. Should I wait for the opportunity and then kill him? But if it's after everything is over, it will be much more difficult. But if now, in the midst of this madness and war in the Forbidden Forest, it might be possible. The thought reached its peak, and Dietrich slowly got up from his seat. Your Majesty, what is the matter? Siegfried had entered the tent at that moment, and he stopped in shock, staring at him. Do you need anything? Gathered the soldiers and magicians stationed in the village. Excuse me? What do you mean? I'll go myself. Sire. Thus, what Fenrik feared was fulfilled. Siegfried looked at him with a pale face, while Dietrich remained rigid and cold-eyed. But, Your Majesty knows. The Forbidden Forest is extremely dangerous. You personally going, it doesn't matter. Some of our knights are still there, but safety cannot be guaranteed. Unfortunately, I am not well either, don't you know I can protect myself? But what? Wouldn't it be better if you waited a little longer? Duke Fenrik and Ser Kevin only led soldiers into the forest recently, so, he did not finish his words. Dietrich suddenly drew his sword. He pointed the sword at Siegfried's neck, his cold eyes watching him from above as he said, No matter what, I'm going to the Forbidden Forest now. So, the matter only differs in one thing. Do I go as I am? Or do I cut the leader's throat and go? Isn't it? It was clear that he would go for it even if he had to kill Siegfried with his own hands. By killing him, there would be no one left who would dare stand in his way. There is no longer any way to stop him. Siegfried cursed that fact, closing his eyes tightly. Dawn was beginning to break over the forest, painting the trees a dark red in the first light of the morning. Demon King. Let's kill him. The Forbidden Forest, which used to swallow up stillness and dread, now buzzed with the shouts of men, the cries of pain, and the breaths of the dying. They were in the heart of enemy territory, but the morale of the soldiers had not weakened as some had feared. On the contrary, it has grown stronger. The death of the archbishop who was leading the church. And Ivan, who killed him, with strength comparable to the Demon King. A deep hatred that has been inherited for thousands of years. And now, the opportunity to destroy this legendary entity with their own hands, planted excitement and overwhelming joy in their hearts. But the battle was not easy. Mutants flock incessantly, killing and devouring soldiers without mercy. And at the heart of this hell were Presepe, Fenrik, and Vidar. Fenrik gripped Vanessa's sword with all his might, his eyes fixed on Presepe standing behind him. It was ironic that the blood of monsters ran through her veins, which made her immune to their attacks, and therefore no one posed a danger to her at this moment except Vidar. Likewise, there was no one who could stand up to Vidar except Fenrik. So, maybe it was best to stay close to him, within his reach. Fenrik looked at him with blazing red eyes, and tightened his grip on the sword, but before he could attack it, his attention was caught by a desperate signal sent by someone. It was Kevin. Dietrich. The signal was clear. Dietrich had finally left Vanessa's village and was now on his way to the Forbidden Forest. There is no doubt that Siegfried sent a messenger quickly to inform them. Thus, the fears they were warning about came true. Fenrik ground his teeth angrily. Dietrich will not be of any help, so why does he insist on following them and clinging to their feet until the end? There's no more time. His presence will only bring trouble. So Fenrik had to finish off Vidar as quickly as possible. Only then can he keep Presepe safe. At that moment, Vidar, who was holding the Book of Memories with a dead face, looked at Presepe standing behind Fenrik. Permission. Vidar's dry lips, pale as snow, barely moved. After you've confirmed, what do you think? In the end, you were right, weren't you? What? Fenrik furrowed his brow, annoyed by Vidar's ambiguous words. I said that bastard. Fenrik is no different from me either. Fenrik turned to Presepe. And you, despite knowing all that, your answer was only this? Isn't it different? Yes, perhaps it could have been looking at that way, even before Presepe heard Fenrik's answer. In the end, in order to get to you, he killed people and approached you with a fake face as if he knew nothing. So where is the big difference between us? So you knew from the beginning. And yet, you chose to turn a blind eye. Vidar did not say a word. But his silence spoke louder than words. It was confirmation that what she said was true. And also, you were controlling the Duke, weren't you? Or maybe you believed you could control him. That's why you exploded, right? Vidar was wrong. For Presepe, Fenrik and Vidar were not the same. They were different. From the beginning, there was no difference in their hearts. So, after she knew the truth, it was natural for her to look at them with a different emotion. Why did you do all that? I asked Presepe. Did you hate me that much? She couldn't understand. In the end, she's just another character in a game, so why does he have so much hatred towards her? What made him hate her so much? Or is it? Does this mean that I'm really attached to this game? Yes. Vidar replied, his voice as weak and heavy as stone. I hate you. I hate you so much that I want to kill you. He hated her because she didn't advance towards him even though she knew everything. I also hate you. He hated her because she still looked at him differently than she looked at Fenrik. In the end, I found no one to compensate for my wasted time, nor anyone to understand me, and all of that is because of you alone. Suddenly, dark crimson blood poured from the wound below his collarbone, the one where Fenrik had stabbed him earlier. It was clear that his condition was very bad. But what was Vidar trying to say in this situation? What message did he want to convey? It was not possible to realize this. Your guess, what do you think I'll do now? Vidar's unexpected question caught Presepe off guard, and she took a step back. The system is starting to collapse little by little, but the Book of Memories is still intact. And I still have the strength. Do you know what it means to be the most powerful entity in this world, Presepe? Vidar muttered with a faint smile. People like you, like all other characters, are prisoners of this world, bound to it and cannot escape the system. This is because the system created you. If there were no values infused into your settings, you would not breathe or exist in the first place. You are miserable beings. Yes, even me. Vidar smiled sarcastically. How do you think I was able to use this comprehensive system, which imposes its authority on all living beings, to my advantage? What did you say? Even if we erased all memories and went back to the beginning, do you think we would find our way to this moment again? You, and you, Fenrik too. Vidar said, directing his gaze to them both.